What's up, everybody? It's round number 2 of another store championship that I had the pleasure of both judging as well as offering this post-event commentary on it. And today we've got Shanks versus Lim. Shanks actually won the die roll and decided to go first. Now you may be asking yourself, why is Shanks going first? Doesn't Shanks like going second? Well, Lim likes going first way more. So taking Lim off first, incredibly good for the Shanks. Lim's ability is 3 Dawn, so kind of stopping them from being able to do that on a turn that they can also attack is pretty nice. Lim typically likes to establish a 1-drop body and then go immediately into the leader effect on the next turn. Looks like no 1-drop body for Lim, passing back to Shanks. Shanks is just going to go ahead and swing 5k, then tap 3 for a Hongo. Hongo is here potentially set up for the Marco play, so Marco KOs a 3 or less on enter, and Hongo, you can rest him, activate main, and give something -2, so potentially setting up to kill a body that Lim puts into play here. Lim gonna go ahead and swing 6k, just gonna get the first life is always free, was what I like to say, so Shank's just gonna take that one, and we're gonna see Lim's ability, so we're gonna ramp 1, and then put into play a 5 or less cost Odyssey card. Gonna put the Lim into play. Lim, this one searches top 5 for an Odyssey card, lets you put it in the hand, as well as having an end of turn effect. If you have like two or more rested characters, you can set this Lim up. Currently not able to do that. Now if they potentially had the 1-drop, this Lim would have potentially sat up here, but likely we're just going to run this into a Marco play here, as Shanks is going up to 5 Dawn. Now Shanks does like going second to be on the even curve, but Shanks has a pretty notable odd curve as well. Has a lot of good 5-drops, a lot of good mid game, and then has some 7-drop of Ben Beckman into like the Rayleigh or Dragon on 9. See a 5k. 5k is just going to take it. We're going to see an activation of Hongo -2 on the Lim, and we're going to see a Marco come down, cleaning up the Lim. Now, for those who don't know, Lim is very good when they can keep their board around. If you continuously deal with Lim's board, Lim really struggles, because again, most of Lim's characters require you to have 2 or more rested characters on the field for some of their effects to go off. So definitely limiting Lim's ability to grow their board is incredibly beneficial to the Shanks here. So just reading Hongo here. Hongo, yes, is an activation every turn, so definitely want to try to clean up the Hongo as quickly as possible, potentially. Just because if your bodies are going to be coming into play tapped here, it's very likely that Hongo is going to be able to reduce their power, and then you just get a very clean swing into it with leader or with the Marco. So not looking too hot for the Lim here, as Lim is on there. I think this is their 7 Dawn turn. They did ramp 1 off of Lim's ability, so could activate Lim once here. Could go into like an activation of Lim and then playing like a 4-drop or less. Definitely want to try to get as many bodies on the field as possible. We're going to set 2 Dawn tapped here, and we're going to activate the Top Knot here. Top Knot, really cool card, back from OPO3. It's -2 Dawn and then bottom a 4 or less. It has the same thing on a trigger as well. In a deck like Lim, where you're ramping so aggressively every turn, minusing 2 Dawn is really not an issue here, as we're likely going to swing, maybe swing 6k. No, we're going to go 7k instead. 7k is a lot better than Marco. They can still use leader ability and 2k out of it, but when you have a bit of a fuller board, definitely better to do that. Alright, we're going to see an activation of Lim here. Lim is going to put a Sabo into play. You're going to have to excuse me, as I don't know what half of Lim's cards do, but that's Sabo, I think, protects something. I think it's also a 2k. Man, I'm gonna have to like pull up a dictionary on my side just to tell you what these Lim cards do, because I am so unfamiliar with this deck. Sabo, when attacking once per turn, if you have 3 or more rested characters, draw a card. So again, a lot of Lim stuff is going to be drawing cards, or going to be requiring you to have rested characters, which makes this Beckman so incredibly good against Sabo here. So we got two swings in the lead, which got some counter out of hand, and then a Beckman's just going to come down and immediately connect to Sabo. Lim is entering their 4th turn here with no bodies on board at this point, which is pretty brutal for Lim. Lim just going to go ahead and read the Marco. Yes, if you decide to KO the Marco can potentially come back. We've seen a lot of Shanks builds that run like events like Divine Departure. What's the other one called? Man, it's like trying to remember every move Luffy does. But there's another event that Shanks decks run for 2 Dawn that is pretty well known in the Shanks list. So a lot of events potentially being run from Shanks that will allow this Marco to kind of stick around. So we're at 8 Dawn, right? So we're kind of at the turn now where we're going to see some of Lim's abilities actually come to fruition here. We're going to play Enel out first, and then we're going to activate Lim's ability. Now, remember, most of Lim's characters require you to have 2 or more rested characters. So this second character coming in is actually going to proc. And this is a new card from OP10. This is Enel. If you have 2 or more rested characters on play, draw 3, trash 2. So we're going to see 3 new looks off the top, and then 2 cards going in the bin. Potentially 2 Top Knots going in the bin here. Top Knot's not nearly as good right now, but instead we're just going to get rid of Top Knot, and maybe asking yourself, what is this Devil Fruit card? Well, a lot of Lim decks are running this very interesting build, running this Devil Fruit card as well as some of the searchers for it, which is some card from OP01 that's a 2K. So the kind of the goal with this is to play that 2K out once, search up the Smile Fruit, immediately get a good understanding of what's in your life, right? Because you see all the cards in your deck, you see all the cards in your hand, you kind of know what's in your life. But we're going to see here a big ol' cleanup here. So Rayleigh cleans up one Enel, and then Marco is going to clean up the other one with the minus reduction on that character from Rayleigh. Big issue of cards coming into tapped and not immediately standing up is if your opponent has a bit of a board, you're always going to be playing from the back foot here. We're going to see a 7K go into lead here. Likely going to end up taking this one. Just only 3 cards in hand. Could potentially give it up and go down to 1 card in hand, but really that's not what you want to be doing at this point against Shanks. On 2 life, no cards on the field. Shanks doing a very superb job of just going full removal mode. We had the Marco into the Beckman into the Rayleigh. This has been kind of the biggest disaster for Lim right now. Not being able to keep any characters on board is incredibly difficult for this deck to function, because again, all of them require characters rested. We're gonna see a 5 Dawn play. I do see a Smoker to the front of hand. That is Smoker as Tashiki. This is a new card from OP10 as well. Been seeing some Lim decks run this as just a way to set up Dawn here. And yeah, so Smoker being a 7K with Banish, incredibly good. Also that ability to set up 1 Dawn, very strong as well, because it allows you to kind of do this little play where you can play 11 Dawn worth of characters for cheap, for only 10 Dawn. So Sakatsuki's coming down. Sakatsuki, I think this is from OP09, or maybe from this set. I can't remember, but this KO is a 5 or less when it comes down if you have at least 2 or more rested characters. Going back to Shanks' turn, Shanks just using a leader ability to shut down Lim's attack here, and Lim fighting for their life here to keep characters on board, because we're just going to see either swings into board or swings into life. And I think at this point Shanks has started to turn things to sideways to try to take out the Lim player here. The 7K the Lim player takes, if they take this 8K, this is going to be a 15K swing from Shanks. So they have to counter out of this. We're going to see a 0-cost event. Got to pitch another card here. Trying to think what they want to pitch alongside that. Let's take them up to 8K, and they're going to need 1 more card to take them even higher. Yep, and we're going to see exactly that. This could potentially also just be a dragon play, which is exactly what we're seeing here. Especially if a Shanks attaches a 2 Dawn, you're going to see a dragon come down. And dragon swings 9K, cleans up the game. Lim, that was just a very unfortunate showing for Lim. Lim does a lot of good stuff if they can keep things on board, but in this situation, Shanks playing the control deck. Anyways, if you like this type of content, definitely subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.